What's going on, everybody? Leo Luna here, back from the grave, talking about the latest Nintendo Switch 1 update 20.0 that includes the famous or the so-called virtual game cards that we saw on the latest Nintendo Switch 1 Direct. And there's a lot of interesting things to talk about it. To some of you that don't know what it is, it's basically a folder or a library of all your digital content, either purchased or downloaded, either demos or purchased content, or even DLCs. As you can see, they kinda look like a Nintendo DS style or Nintendo 3DS style of game cartridge. And if you enter one of these, you see like the downloadable content in there. So what's the whole point of actually having to have this separate from the already folder files that Nintendo already made? Like you can see, I have all my games sorted out here, including the physical ones. So the point of Nintendo is that you can actually pick one of these games and share it either one of your other consoles or one of your members of your family group. But there are some good things and bad things. So let's start with the bad things. Do you remember, or have you ever just purchased any video game with another friend with just one profile? I mean, that's the great deal. I know that in United States or Europe, it's not that common, I think, but in Latin America, it's so much normal for us to actually buy a game between two friends, you know, like instead of paying $70 for Tears of the Kingdom, you just pay $35. Or the best example is having to pay $60 for Mario Party, so you can play with your friend online. And according to a very specific thing that they just recently added in the users, you cannot do that anymore. Correction, since this description was a bit confusing at first, I did not realize it, but now I understand that if you activate the Use Online license, you can easily play one game simultaneously with another friend. One game that you purchase together, let's say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, let's say Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is my favorite game to play with my partner. So yeah, just keep in mind that if you're going to still play like the old way of sharing games. And instead, we now have the virtual game cards, and there are two ways to share this with your siblings. So I have this, I can sort it out between date acquired, title, publisher, and most importantly, the cards that are loaded or not loaded, the ones that are full software, DLCs, or upgrade packs. So let's go one. Let's explain the most important that are like not loaded or loaded. So there's a difference between having a game installed or having a game loaded. Having a game loaded, well, installed, it's literally that. As you can see, all of these games are installed. The ones with the green game card are loaded, and the ones that are not loaded. And as you can see, the game card logo, it's already appearing next to the title, the same as the physical games. For instance, my Prince of Persia The Lost Crown is a physical game, and it is also appearing the same way as digital games now. So the difference is that loaded has the digital license for you to play these games here. So this Neo Geo games, I can just easily play them here on this console. Whereas I have Through the Darkest of Times loaded in this console, which is my partner's console. And I can just load it in this system that you're watching at. So there are two uses of this. I can load my licenses to a different Nintendo Switches that I have. So let's say a person that travels a lot has one Nintendo Switch for Nintendo games and another Switch game, let's say the Nintendo Switch Lite, that is even much more handy to use for indie games, let's say. So you can easily do that on here and load on other systems. Or let's say I want to load this game here, and it says eject from other system and load on this system. So what this does is extracting the license from this red console to my Switch OLED white console. So that's extracting the license, and there you go. Now I can just play that, and as you can see, because I have already the game installed in my console, there's no need for me to reinstall it. It's just about the digital license. So if I can just send back this game, I can just go to load on other systems, load another system, but then you have to somehow, last time I got an error, so I think you have to have this, both consoles need to have the 20.0 version, and the two consoles has to be at least turned on or at least in standby. So this one is turned off in standby mode. So there you go. I already have my license up. Or let's say you wanted to share Animal Crossing in your family group member. You can do it up to 14 days, up to 3 games, and you have to either wait for the 14 games per game borrowed to finish, or you can cancel the borrowing. It's either one of the two. The only thing that really it's not that good is that you have to be next to the person that you're sharing with. It only has to be with your household mates. I mean, let's say you have kids or your classmates or your colleagues at work. But in a case like me, whereas I live in South Korea and I have my family members from the Nintendo Switch Online in United States and Costa Rica, I cannot just simply share my digital games to them. So what's the point of this? And again, Nintendo, what's the point of this if I already have my licenses in this console and my partner has her licenses in my console? So I honestly don't see the benefits other than having everything sorted here. But then again, I remember that we don't have like the physical games here either. Oh, by the way, you can lock your settings. And also you can look up your digital collection at this website. But the crazy thing to me is that you have your digital games here, but if you want to see your physical games, they're not there. You have to look up on here or put your physical game in the cartridge slot. So it's not easy. I don't know why they haven't done it the same way as the PS5. So that's the use. I'm honestly not very excited for this. And one thing you have to note is that these rectangle ones are DLCs and the square ones are the full games. But let's say I wanted to know the capacity of this game. How much does it weigh? Let's go to view details. It doesn't say. Like, I don't know exactly how much will it cost on my storage. Like, I just don't have that information. I don't know if the game has either Switch Online capabilities, how many persons do I have, how many players. I need to check up on the Nintendo's eShop, which apparently it's faster. We're gonna check that in a minute. But I just don't know why they haven't included all that here. All these small features are scattered around this system, which kind of drives me nuts as a software engineer. And also, it's like crazy to me. One final thing. If you have like more than 100 games like me, you can just press quick load and then you can start choosing games to add here. But up to 30, so you have to do it 30 by 30 and so on. And another cool thing is that let's say this works for you and you have like your 4 working mates from your Switch family and you wanted to share them, I don't know, Castlevania, so they can play it for the first time. They saw the show is great, so they wanted to play the game now. You can do it, that's easy doable, but you have to be close and nearby. But the cool thing is that if the 14 days expire, they can get the save data. So whenever they wanted to buy the game, they can do it. The only thing I'm not so sure how it's going to work is that can I re-share that game again to the same person or not? It doesn't look like. Let us know in the comments if you already know that. And you see, this is my main issue with this, like, you don't actually belong your digital licenses. They can do whatever they want with it. The simultaneous use of a single game shared by one profile, they could just do it because it's their domain. If they can just, let's say, get rid of the messenger from the eShop store and never having to download the messenger, I mean, they could easily pull that off. And that means you don't have a liberty or the freedom to actually have your free DRM key code, pull it from the eShop or from the store or from online and then share it to other consoles. There is just no ownage or no property of the things that I own, which kind of really sucks. I wish it wasn't like that. So to me, this doesn't solve the digital ownership issue. And speaking of other specific things, everybody knows that the Switch, that Nintendo is actually preparing his users for the Switch 2. So they added a second or a new one called Game Share. And what this is about? You're basically sharing Nintendo Switch 2. Users will be able to share their games to Nintendo Switch 1. So the good thing is that with this, you can successfully play Mario Kart World if you have one friend that has a Switch 2 and Mario Kart World. I guess if you're lucky, you can do that. And also, Nintendo is preparing you to do the system transfer to Switch 2. You see, here's the instruction manual, and it says that you can transfer all users, save data, screenshots, video, the system settings as well, except the news, because apparently the news is not included in this. Speaking of which, they changed the color of the news site. It's still the same. However, if we see the menu of the Switch 2, you can see they have a very similar pattern, except that they are gradients. So this news icon has like a gradient of greens. And we don't know exactly if it's either news. I don't think so. It's probably a different thing, but we're not sure by now. And also the Nintendo eShop color has been changed, which apparently is faster. So let's try that, shall we? Oh, it's a little bit faster. It's a hot red, which actually it's burning my eyes, but I really like that. It's really fast. No, it's not really fast. A bit faster. But this is the ultimate test. You go in search tab. We're gonna find price range. I always look up at the $10 to $30. And there you go. It's alright. It's alright. It doesn't load like specifically too slow either. But this is the ultimate test. Let's see if the videos actually play properly. Well, there you go. There's even buffer. There's even extra buffer of the video already downloaded to the torrent, and yeah, it seems faster. And the funny thing is that it required the launch of the Switch 2, which is terrible. But all in all, this is the update. Also, one final thing, for some strange reason, they update the new look of Donkey Kong that not many people is happy with. I'm okay with it. It looks fine. And also, they slightly updated the icons for Yoshi, Peach, Luigi, and Mario as well. So yeah, there's that. I don't like the way the Switch 2, that Nintendo is handling the digital market. Like, it kind of feels they are like moving away from the physical media, considering the controversy that we've heard about having digital cartridges with game keys inside only without the whole video game. I think it is crucial or important to have the ownership of the actual physical game. It's commendable to see Nintendo releasing a console without a physical game cartridge reader, which is like unspoken these days. Which is another important thing to discuss. Like, just keep in mind that, for instance, games like Cyberpunk are going to be fully included on the game cartridge, but let's say games from Square Enix are not going to be included in the game, but they have like the game key card or the virtual game card license. It's better than having a simple paper with a key code, because you can actually sell that card. But it's still, the game is not included. I think they're kind of saying goodbye to the Switch, but not in a way that it feels they are like moving. I think they're still working with the Nintendo Switch, considering that they are going to still use the same eShop for the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know, I don't think that Switch 2 this time devalues the Switch 1 that much. You can still play a lot of games, and many of them probably are still releasing on the Switch 1. And speaking of which, we see here a thing called upgrade pack for the Switch 2. Let's say Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom are going to have an upgrade pack for the Nintendo Switch 2 that you have to buy additionally. I guess you can share that too. Anyway, so I hope you learned a thing or two from the latest Nintendo Switch 1 update. The upcoming video will be focused on the Switch 2 in the simplistic style that you're seeing here, that actually helps me a lot in finishing other personal stuff I have to attend first these days. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to a friend that haven't updated the Switch. Also, comment your thoughts about this. Was I too pessimistic? Do you like what Nintendo is doing right now with both consoles? See you in blue sky, comments, and up until my next video. Take care.